Alright guys, let's begin our shareholders meeting. So just a reminder, our vision statement is that here at Chester Sensors, we will be the top luxury sensor producer in the industry. Our devotion to high quality production and consumer satisfaction will cater perfectly to the consumer craving a high-tech product, but also will allow us to cater to the low-tech consumer once the product is sufficiently aged to suit their tastes. We will bring exceptionally high profits to our shareholders through high sales brought about by our high brand recognition. Alright, so our strategy for this is that we're going to be a broad differentiator. We're going to make sure to focus on both the low-tech and the high-tech segments. With this being said, we want to make sure that we keep a large part of the market share in low-tech to ensure that we have the sufficient funds to keep improving a high-tech product and promoting the high-tech product as we keep trying to penetrate the market. We'll do this by keeping a sufficiently low-tech product through the duration while introducing two high-tech products that we will constantly keep bumping up and up and up. So we're just switching these products. All right. All right, Kurt, why don't you tell us a little bit about our production schedule?
All right, Rob, I can do that. Okay, so our low-end product, cake, was the product that we produced the most of. In week 1, we produced 1,300 units. Year by year, we kept increasing the amount of units that were produced of cake. In week 4, we had begun to make 1,700 units of cake, and by week 8, we were producing 2,450 units. As you can see in the image here. We weren't able to produce our second product, cape, until year 3. In year 3, we produced the maximum amount that we could, which was 150 units. Despite producing at a very low amount to start, we were able to increase the amount of units produced to 900 in year 5, all the way up to 1,750 units in year 8. Our final product, cart, was the one that saw the most rapid change in production. We were able to start producing in year 5 of the company. We started out with only being able to produce 200 units of cart in the first year of production. And in year 2, we saw a slight increase to 290 units, but by the time we got to year 4 product, we were able to produce 1,090 units of cart.
All right, why don't you tell us a bit about the automation?
All right, so the automation of cake steadily increased throughout the course of the years. In year 1, we started with an automation of 3.0. By week 4, we had increased our automation to 5.0, and by week 8, we had gotten the automation of cake all the way up to 7.5, which was a goal of ours. We didn't increase the amount of automation for cake like we did for cake. In year 1, the product automation was 1.4, and in years 2 and 3 of the product, it was at 2.7, with a slight increase to 3.4 in the 4th year, and in the final 2 years, it was at 4.5. And for cart, it's in this image here. The automation process for cart was sped up drastically compared to the other products. Automation started with automation of 1.6 in year 4 of the product. We were able to increase the automation all the way up to 5.6, surpassing the automation of cake.
All right, what about our buy-sell capacity?
All right, so as far as our buy-sell capacity for cake in years 1 through 3, we increased our buy-sell capacity by 900. In year 4, we didn't change any capacity, but in year 5, we increased capacity by 750 to meet the market demand of the product. Following year 5, we quit buying and selling capacity for it, but in year 8, we increased it by 300. For cape, we continuously bought capacity. Total, we had a change capacity of 1,750. In the early years of the product was when we focused on buying the most capacity, with a change of 300 and 450 in years 2 and 3 of the product. In years 4, 5, and 6 of the company, we increased buy-sell capacity by 1,000 units. That early activity was set us up to be able to produce a large amount we were able to in a short time that cart exists.
All right, thank you, Kurt. All right, AJ, why don't you tell us about the sales?
Yeah, sure. As you can see here from this graph, in year 1, we started with only $46 million in sales. However, as we got to year 5, we got up to $95 million, closing out our company's lifetime after year 8 of $147 million.
All right, now why don't you tell us a bit about our profits?
All right, so our profits here weren't quite as successful as our sales went up due to some borrowing issues. So in year one, we started here at negative 345,000, and that was due to some borrowing and not enough sales. As we went up and our sales went up, in year 5 we moved to $6 million in profit. And as we carried on into year 8, we moved up to $15 million profits.
All right. So tell us about borrowing.
Alright, so moving on to borrowings here. Borrowings is one of the aspects that we struggled the most with throughout the company's life. We had the right idea of sticking towards the long-term debt rather than short-term, so that we had a greater payback period and able to pay all the debts back. But we didn't go about this in the best way. So we started off in year 1 by borrowing about $1 million in short-term and about $2.5 million in long-term. As we moved along through the years, we continued to take out more and more long-term and little amounts of short-term. When we got to year 5, we took about $4 million in short-term and $15 million in long-term. Jumping to year 8 now, we took out about $10 million long-term and $1 million short-term. To wrap this all up, in the overall scheme of things, we took out a total of about $74 million long-term and only about $10 million short-term. This was, I thought you were paused. That sounds good. Just
All right, why don't you tell us about our products?
I would love to. So our company offers 3 products: a low tech, a high tech, and a super high tech. Our low tech is called Cake. Our high tech is called Cape, and our super high tech is called Cart. Cake is our low tech and is produced at a 10.51 rate compared to 14.79 for the high tech Cape and the 20.09 for the super high tech Cart. Cake is our largest product compared to our 3 because it is our low tech. As technology increases, the product should decrease in size. That is exactly what has happened with our products. So if you look at this visual right here, Cake, which is our low tech product, is larger in size. That's why it's all the way up here. So the way this works is up here is the larger in size, and then it gets smaller as it goes down. So this is our largest product, and it's pretty much where it needs to be exactly, and it's fairly in the same position as our competition. Now as we move down to our high-tech product, Cape, it's exactly where we want it to be in size and in performance. And then when we go even further down to our super high-tech, Cart blows away the competition. It is exactly where it needs to be in performance and in size. We couldn't do any better with Cart.
All right, why don't you tell us a bit about our production?
Okay, so we could have done a little bit better in production. We produced a very good amount of product. We produced a lot of product compared to our competition, as you can see. But since we produced so much, we couldn't sell enough of it, so we could have done better on that.
Phil, why don't you tell us a bit about marketing? Tell us about our shares and how our prices ended up.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. All right, so Cake was our low-end product here. We started out right at about 16% in the market share. We progressively moved up to 20, and then on to 22 by year 8. So we made an upward movement there. Our prices fell into the mid-range here in that first year at $34. Our mid-price right here at year 4 was right at 31, so we're still sitting in that mid-level. And then by the year 8, we were in the lower half and still being very competitive with our low-tech product. Moving over here to Cape, this is our mid, it's a high-tech product, but not our most high-tech product. We introduced it about year 3. We started out very low, right there at about 4% of the market share. We were able to increase it by year 6 up to 14%, but unfortunately by year 8 we went back down to 7. We kept our prices pretty competitive. We started out at the high end right here in year 3, at $34. Moved into $31, and that put us right about the mid-price level. And then by year 8, we were at the low end, so we were competing there at $34. Moving into our high-tech product, Cart, we were able to compete very aggressively. We started out with 4% of the market share, and then by year 8, we were up to 12% of the market share. Our prices for these sat at $45, and then by year 8, we were $42.50. aggressively all around. We would enter the marketplace really high with a lot of promotion, and then throughout that we were able to level out. And most of our products, you can see here, the trend is that aggressive to start and then leveling out after that.
Alrighty, thank you.
Alright guys, that was pretty informative. So just kind of wrapping this up, some of the strengths that we had as a team were that we were all very punctual to our meetings. We coordinated well. During the meetings, we were all extremely efficient. We had clear communication and we were able to work well together. However, we did have some weaknesses. Early on, we had a lack of understanding, which set us back with our borrowing. Our spending was a bit inefficient, so we lost profit there. And also for production, our estimates were extremely off. We were either estimating way too high or we were too low. And we didn't have enough product when we were penetrating a market to actually fully grasp at the market. And I think we can all say that some of the lessons we learned is that this needs constant attention. You need to be prepared to hit the ground running when you enter with product. We need to have a full capability to launch the product and have the amount of product we need to get it going. And that we need to learn and adapt better to mistakes, which we did, as evident by us returning from a hard loss. So another mistake we made was selling our stock early on, which led to a huge drop in our stock price. However, we did an amazing job of building it back up throughout the years. Also, as I said, we marketed a bit too much product, and that kind of set us in the hole. Another thing we could have done was manage our debt a bit better with what I said with inefficient spending. So we didn't end up with a huge pile of debt at year 8. We could have done this by just paying off debt a bit more frequently than what we did. But overall, I think we did quite well. Any closing remarks? If not, I conclude this meeting. Thank you.
Go team!